This meeting is called to order. Please stand for the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City Clerk Ed Norris, please call the roll.
Mayor McClellan.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Here.
Councilmember Speech.
Councilmember Speech is out ill.
Councilmember Radner.
Here.
Councilmember Rich.
Here.
There is quorum. Next, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have the consent agenda, which are routine items presented as a group without discussion. A, regular council meeting minutes of June 5th, 2017, special council meeting minutes of June 5th, Planning Commission meeting minutes of May 8th, payment number 1 for the 2017 roof replacement project M665 to Schreiber Corporation in the amount of $149,270. E, payment application number 2 to Florence Cement Company of Shelby Township, Michigan for the 2017 Granson Avenue Reconstruction Project M650 for the total amount of $224,935.52. F, request to advertise for bids for the 2017 Miscellaneous Sewer Repair Project M671. G, payment application number 1 for the 2017 Water Main Replacement Project M649 to ALE Construction Company Incorporated in the amount of $166,171.28. H, resolution designating Finance Director Sandra Crawford and Deputy Finance Director Jamin Winters as authorized agents to perform investment activities with Comerica Bank Securities. And finally, I, licenses, new and renewals, as submitted for June 19th, 2017. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Elected officials, we have Helene Zach, our Oakland County Commissioner, will update us on what's new in Oakland County.
Good evening, everybody. I got talking, and I did leave new county directories hot off the press, and you will all receive that in a couple stack. And there will be some extras left over. I do want to remind people about some wonderful county services. There is an apprenticeship guide. If you go to www.advantageoakland.com, and this talks about job training opportunities and how to access, gives you salary ranges, and this is done in cooperation with Workforce Development, Oakland County, and I do encourage people to look at job training.
What is the name of that again?
It is the Apprenticeship Guide, and it's on there's several Oakland County websites, and one of them is the AdvantageOakland.com, www.advantageoakland.com. And it's a really wonderful directory of lots of training opportunities. And we do have jobs that are going unfilled in Oakland County because we don't have the requisite skills for those jobs. And this apprenticeship guide is done in conjunction with Oakland Community College, some unions, with Oakland County, and other different types of employers. So I do encourage people to take advantage. I serve on the Citizens Advisory Council for the Regional Transit Authority, and they're still in the process of deciding what to do about the RTA, whether to seek another millage in 2018, 2020. That's to be continued, and I will keep you updated. But one thing that the RTA, the Regional Transit Authority, decided to do was to take more money out of the federal funding and invest it in the My Ride 2. And this is a program that's offered by the Area Agency on Aging 1B, where it's a collaborative entity of other transportation providers beyond the smart bus. So if you are a senior or a disabled person or somebody that needs other transportation going to a doctor further away or someplace, you can contact either 1-855-MyRide2 or myride2.com. And it's
It's the
this
numeral 2, right?
And-
MIRIDE and the numeral 2.
And this will be a regional transportation option with this additional option. They're putting in Wayne County and Detroit into this My Ride 2 with this additional funding. So I had the pleasure, we had Youth and Government Day in May, and this is where high schools send high school students to the Oakland County government, and students get to participate. And I did have Oak Park schools, Oak Park High students, and they were delightful. And I also had some Ferndale students as well. And this was really a very interactive session. One of the things that we did with the students in the morning was we presented them, we broke them into groups with 3 life issues, and they had to argue, they had to create a resolution like I do as a county commissioner and argue pro and con. Should police officers wear cameras was one of the issues. Should we tax soda pop because it's unhealthy for you and take that county tax and invest it in health programs? And I have to say, the students were amazing. They were really thinking and engaged in the whole government process. So I want to thank, those students that came from Oak Park and participating. Oakland County, the Board of Commissioners, of which I'm one, we are going to be sponsoring a program in August 9th, and I will make sure that on small business, how to do business with Oakland County. And we want to have different entrepreneurs, smaller businesses, doing business with the county. And this is supposed to be educational, teaching you how you can do that. And that's it for this evening.
Thank you so much. Always fascinating. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here. Thanks.
Next, there is a certificate of appreciation for Reatha Richmond, who has served on the Beautification Commission very actively for many years, presented in recognition of Reatha Richmond for almost 30 years of dedicated service to the City of Oak Park, for serving as chairperson and commissioner for the Oak Park Beautification Commission. And there's this beautiful plaque. And is Miss Richmond here? Is Miss Richmond here tonight? If you will come up for a photo opportunity, we'd love to present you with the plaque. Next, I'd like to call up Director of Public Safety, Steve Cooper, to talk about some citations of achievement.
Good evening to the Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, Council, and our City Manager. I want to thank you again for the opportunity for allowing me this forum to acknowledge some of our public safety officers and some of the exceptional work that has taken place within the department. This evening I have 2 unit citations that I would like to present. One involves the robbery of a pizza delivery driver. The second involves a stolen vehicle that resulted in a vehicle pursuit, which turned into a foot pursuit and ended up with a home invasion in the city of Detroit. And also I had a director's commendation to present to one of our newer officers, a brand new officer, Patrick Laskaska, which found out, I guess he's a no call, no show, so I'm going to rescind his director's commendation and turn it into a disciplinary complaint. Maybe he'll show up later. If not, we'll acknowledge him at another time. On more than a couple occasions, I've had the opportunity to stand before this council presenting members of the Public Safety Department with various awards, and each time it's always been a true source of pride. I know, as all of you know, that we continue to police in some of the most difficult and challenging times, but in spite of those challenging times, it gives me great comfort to know that we have some of the brightest, bravest, and committed officers anywhere in the States. I'm going to start out at this time with one of the unit citations, and as I call the officer's name, I'd ask if you come up, stand front and center, face the audience, and after I read the citation, I'll go through the second one, and at the conclusion of the second one, we would ask that, if possible, the council and the city manager wouldn't mind posing for a photo op with the officers. At this time, I'd like to call up Lieutenant Ryan Bolton. Lieutenant Bolton is an 18-year veteran of the department. He's a highly decorated officer. He's received numerous awards and citation. Currently, he's the commanding officer of one of our midnight shift platoons. He's held numerous positions within the department throughout his career, and as of this past Friday, he is a recent graduate of the prestigious Northwestern School of Staff and Command for Law Enforcement Management. Sergeant Joseph Meyer, if you'd come up. Sergeant Meyer is a 17-year veteran of the department. He's also a highly decorated officer, has numerous awards and citations that he's received. He currently supervises one of the midnight shift platoons with Lieutenant Bolton. He's held numerous positions within the department and throughout his career. Sergeant Myers will be supervising the department's 1st K-9 Unit Division. Sergeant Jim Vernier. Sergeant Vernier is a 19-year veteran with the Department of Public Safety. He's also highly decorated, received numerous awards and citation. He currently supervises one of our day shift platoons, and he's held numerous positions throughout his career. Okay, if I'd like to bring up Officer Dan Bador. I always screw this up. Dan, how many years it is officially when you piecemeal them together? Is it 8?
8 with no parts.
There we go. So Dan has 8 years with the departments, and I always screw up his years of service. Dan was with the department for several years and was a casualty to the 2012 layoffs. And when we recalled Dan to come back, he had already accepted gainful employment with another agency. And after thinking long and hard, he contacted my office one day and stated he wanted to come back, but he said there was only one caveat. He said if he comes back, that the Director of Public Safety had to stick around for a long, long time. So thanks, Dan. Dan's also received numerous awards and citations. He's currently working the midnight shift, and we're extremely fortunate to have him back with our Oak Park family. I'd like to call up Officer Eric Zarfel. Officer Zarfel is a 13-year veteran with the department. He's highly decorated as well, has received numerous awards and citation. He currently works the day shift, and he serves as the president on the Oak Park Police Officers Union Board. Is Officer Jeff Mata here? I don't think Jeff's here. No? All right. Dispatcher Robert Foreman. Dispatcher Foreman is an 18-year veteran of the department. He currently works the midnight shift at our dispatch center. Dispatcher Foreman is highly decorated. He's received numerous awards and citation, and he's our first line of assistance when you contact our public safety department. So with the officers here, I want to read the first unit citation, then I'll call the remaining officers up for the second one. This incident occurred back in December of 2016, and I'll read verbatim from the unit citation here. It says, on December 11, 2016, at 6 o'clock a.m., Oak Park officers were dispatched to the 23,500 block of Kenosha on a report of two males next to a vehicle that had just activated its alarm. The two males reportedly fled from the location in a burgundy Grand Prix. Officers arriving on scene observed a broken car rear window on the vehicle that had the alarm activated, and from that they ascertained that the subjects had attempted to steal the vehicle. Officers received suspect descriptions from the witness and began an area check for the vehicle. Officer Patora located a burgundy Crown Victoria pushing a silver Dodge Charger on Radcliffe south of Dartmouth. The Charger was later found to have been stolen out of Oak Park. Officer Patora also observed the suspect in the driver's seat of the Charger exit the vehicle and get into the Crown Victoria, which was now fleeing across the lawn southbound on Radcliffe. The suspect vehicle was pursued by officers at a low speed due to a fresh 3 inches of snow on the roadway. The suspect vehicle lost control when it observed Officer Motto's patrol vehicle on southbound Church at Park. The suspect vehicle struck the curb and a street sign and was then disabled. The driver and the front seat passenger fled the vehicle on foot. There were two females located in the back seat of the vehicle that were taken into custody without incident. Officers pursued the two fleeing suspects on foot and ultimately set up a perimeter that allowed them to apprehend one suspect 5 blocks away at 23350 Greenfield. This subject was taken into custody by Sergeant Meyer. Royal Oak Police Department's K-9 team, Officer Stajic and his dog Jesse, started a track of the second suspect with the Royal Oak officer Steers. This track began in the area of 9 Mile and Greenfield. The track continued with several Oak Park officers all the way to 8 Mile Road, where Oak Park officers along with Huntington Woods officers observed fresh footprints crossing over into the city of Detroit. Sergeant Vernier advised that he observed a subject matching the description fleeing on foot in the area of Pembroke and Hubble. Officers again set up a perimeter in the area with Officer Zarfel locating fresh footprints going to the rear of a home in the 20,000 block of Hubble. The footprints led up to a basement window of a home that had been freshly broken out. Officers made contact with a resident who stated the window should be intact and that no one should be in the home except his family. Officers advised the residents to have all family members exit the home as they prepared to search the residence. Officers along with the K-9 unit entered the home and found the suspect hiding in the basement. He was taken into custody without incident, and it should be noted that approximately 2 miles were covered by the K-9 and officers, several officers from this department. Both suspects were arraigned on multiple charges, including unlawful driving away of an automobile, flee and elude, home invasion, resisting and obstructing law enforcement. The quick actions of all involved allowed for the apprehension of 2 suspects that were preying on the citizens of Oak Park and the citizens of Detroit. You are all commended for the excellent manner in which you performed your duties, and the citation is signed by myself, the Director of Public Safety, Steve Cooper. At this point, I'll hand them out the citations, then I'll have the other one join them. All right, for our second unit citation, some of the same officers that are up here will be receiving the second citation. And on that unit citation is Sergeant Joseph Meyer, Dispatcher Robert Foreman, Officer Daniel Batora, and at this time I would ask that Officer Jessica Charter join the distinguished honorees here front and center. Officer Charter has 2 years with the department, currently works a midnight shift, and with this citation she's working her way to becoming highly decorated as well. On the citation as well is Officer Zachary Tyler. Zach, have you joined front and center? Officer Tyler has 2 years with the department. He currently works the midnight shift, and he as well is well on his way to becoming one of our highly decorated officers. Officer Kyle McFarland. Can you join us front and center, sir? Officer McFarland has 1 year with the department. He currently works the midnight shift, and he as well is on his way to becoming really decorated. Officer McFarland is very quiet around a director. I still think he's trying to figure me out. So, and if I could have Detective Brian Barker. Detective Barker is a 13-year veteran with the department, highly decorated, has received numerous citations and awards, is assigned to the Investigations Bureau, and he's held several positions within the department. Last but definitely not least, I'd like to have Detective David Cardinelli join the guest here up front and center. Detective Cardinelli is a 13-year veteran with the department. He's also highly decorated. He's received numerous citations and awards. He's also assigned to the Investigations Bureau with Detective Barker, and he's held several positions within the department. And without further ado, I will read verbatim from the second unit citation here. This incident occurred in January of 2017, and it reads as follows. It says, on January 7, 2017, at 11 o'clock p.m., officers were dispatched to 24012 Berkeley on the report of an armed robbery of a pizza delivery driver by two suspects, one armed with a handgun. The suspects were last seen fleeing eastbound on Northfield in an older maroon or light-colored Chevy Trailblazer. Subsequent lien and clemency work done by officers and dispatcher foreman found that the number that the pizza order was called in on had an associated address on Jerome Street in the city of Oak Park. Further information found that the owner of that location also owned a 2000 Oldsmobile Bravada, which is the same body style as the Chevy Trailblazer. It was also found that a 17-year-old suspect listed at the Jerome address matched the physical description given by the delivery driver of one of the two suspects involved in the robbery. Officers located the Trailblazer in the driveway of the Jerome location and immediately set up surveillance. At 12:45 a.m., the vehicle exited the drive of the Jerome address and was stopped by officers. As officers had the driver exit the vehicle, they observed the same to drop a black ski mask and a set of keys on the ground. The subject was taken into custody and later gave further information that led to the arrest of the other two subjects. Two of the subjects were 17 years of age and were arraigned on robbery charges and given a $250,000 bond. The third subject was a juvenile who was subsequently held at Children's Village. The information that was obtained by responding officers, along with information gathered at the scene, and the ability of the platoon to utilize many law enforcement networks to develop the suspect in a short amount of time, allowed for dangerous criminals to be taken off the street in short order. The suspect later advised Detectives Cardinelli and Detective Barker that they were simply hungry for pizza after attending a party and had no money to purchase such, so they decided to rob the pizza delivery driver. And for all of the staff and personnel that was involved in that incident, you are commended for the excellent manner in which you performed your duties, and is signed again by yours truly, Director of Public Safety. And I would just quickly go through and hand these out. Just very quickly, I know the time's been well spent, and Officer Patrick Laskaska is not here to receive his director's commendation, but I just wanted to briefly let you know that Officer Laskaska is one of our recent graduates from the Police Academy. He graduated on May 4th of this year, and on his very first run that he responded to as a member of this department, it was a report of a mother who had just given birth to a brand new baby. So I'm sure that is going to be very memorable for Officer Laskaska. His training officer stated that he did an outstanding job in light of everything that was occurring, and we're very proud of him. That was not the reason, though, that he was going to receive the director's commendation. And actually, since I got here, I might as well read it real quick in his absence. And the director's commendation for Patrick Laskaska, and it says, the Director of Public Safety commends you for the following action. It says, from January 9th through May 4th, 2017, you were assigned to the Basic Police Certification Training at the Wayne County Regional Police Academy. Upon graduation from this program on May 4th, 2017, you were recognized by the staff of the Wayne County Regional Police Academy for finishing first overall academically in your class from among 47 fellow graduates. In addition to this honor, you were also recognized by the Michigan Commission on Law Enforcement Standards, also known as MCOS, with the Best Overall Award from your class of 47 fellow graduates. As you were presented with this award, it was explained that it is given to the outstanding graduate of each Basic Police Academy conducted in the state of Michigan. The Best Overall Award is based on overall performance in all academic and skills testing, as well as for excellence in class preparation, participation, attitude, aptitude, and leadership throughout the 16 weeks of the comprehensive entry-level training. This office is aware that such recognition is achieved only through individual extra effort, as well as personal and family sacrifice. Your enthusiastic participation in this police academy training is evidenced by your performance and receipt of this distinction, and it reflects favorably on this department and your career potential in the public safety service. Director's commendation is hereby awarded this 19th day of June 2017, and it's signed by myself, and I will get this to Officer Laskaska at a later date. But nonetheless, we're still very proud of him for the accomplishment. I know he's very new in his career, but that's quite a feat to come out number one in those various categories. And to the men and women that I serve with on a daily basis, I said before, as I stand before you, it always gives me great pride and honor to stand here in this forum to be able to acknowledge some of the outstanding work that you do. I know there's tons of work that's done on a day in and day out basis that I only hear about, and a lot of it that I don't hear about. And I know the city manager and I have always had conversations, and I'm fully aware that you're only as good as the people that you work with and that you work for. And to suit up every day and to come out here and stand beside you guys and have the honor and distinction of leading this department gives me great pride. And like I said, I love all of you guys, and I ask that you continue to progress and continue to do the great things that you're doing for this community. We have an outstanding community that we serve. We love our residents. They deserve nothing but the best, and hopefully we'll continue to provide that type of service to them. So again, thank you all for letting us indulge in the council meeting, and if you don't mind having a photo op. Yeah, I don't know if it's better, boss, if you want to come down or if you want to stand behind.
Stand behind. Come down.
No, I thought we're not staying up. There's too many people. Yeah, there's too many people. I wish probably stay.
Yeah, we stay up here.
Let's come take pictures.
Congratulate him and come back.
Yeah.
No, we just don't touch it.
You're in the middle. Monkey.
Great job, guys. Great job.
We are proud to have that kind of caliber of staff. We are so grateful to have you all. Next, we have Matt Zook from the Ferndale Area Chamber. He is the new director. He would like to introduce himself to us and tell us a little bit about what he's got planned.
Hi, thank you for having me here, Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem and City Council and City Manager, who I hope to work with. I met with the City Manager today with Ferndale, and she was all excited that I'm there. So she says it's been about 3 years since they had somebody who would work with them, and they're hoping I'll stay, and I will. I have made that commitment. As you know, I say that I came from Sault Ste. Marie originally in Mackinac City, and but I know the big city. If you go to Toledo, Ohio, and talk to the mayor and city council, they all know me. Not because I'm crazy at city council, but because I worked with them and had a lot of opportunities. I worked in Mackinac City as well. My background is in tourism. Not that I'm going to bring a lot of events to Oak Park. I'm more about community and developing a place to live. The new trend actually in tourism or visiting is that you have a wonderful community. People love to live there. They have great places to go and hang out and stuff, and other people come and they do that. You know, cities like Petoskey up north and Boyne City, they've capitalized on that. And I think we have a wonderful opportunity here for that kind of thing. So, and I like to work with the city and kind of have double duties between Ferndale and here. And but I'm willing to take that on and actually looking for a place. So if you know a place here in Oak Park, I would like that. So.
Director of the Ferndale Area Chamber.
Yeah, the Ferndale Area Chamber of Commerce a few years ago reached out, well, it was the Ferndale Chamber of Commerce. They changed their name to the Ferndale Area Chamber of Commerce and reached out to Oak Park because you don't have a Chamber of Commerce. Although maybe we might have to change our name to the Ferndale Oak Park Chamber of Commerce, but that's for probably another time. So, but anyway, just wanted to introduce myself and would love to meet. I've already met with the mayor a couple times now, and we've talked about this expanding this relationship. So,
Looking forward to working with you. Welcome to the city of Oak Park. We're delighted to have you. I will find you a house. There's a house
will,
with your
yeah.
name on it in Oak Park. Trust me. Thank
Yeah.
you. Item number 10 is approve a request for a special event license and waiver of fees submitted by Mark Phillips, 13670 Nadine, for the annual Nadine Block Party held on August 5th, 2017. Is there a motion to approve? Moved and seconded. Discussion? Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Well, I don't have a problem with the request. I'm just wondering, because we would like to get the ice cream truck ban from public safety.
Right.
We're, if I could, Mayor.
Yes, please.
Mayor Pro Tem, we're getting that request more and more, and I have a feeling that very soon, once our newest employee, which is a canine, for those of you that don't
The request
know
too.
the inside joke, I have a feeling we're going to have a lot of requests for that as well. And so, to the extent possible, we'll try to accommodate our residents, especially when they're having Block Club parties, but obviously resources are limited, and when available, we will do what we can.
Okay.
The focus, as I understand it, is on reaching the children. So any place that there's a lot of children, that would be the primary place that they would go. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Item 10B, request for special event license and waiver of fees submitted by Laura Wick, 23467 Forest, for the annual block club party to be held on August 19th, 2017. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Discussion on this one? No? Okay. This one, yeah. It says it's not open to the public, but I'm guessing it's open to the public in the block. Is that?
Yeah, it is, and traditionally, regardless of that, with the block club parties, we have
Right.
allowed the fee waiver, so.
Right, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. 11A is accounting reports. Need a motion to approve payment of an invoice submitted by Howard L. Schiffman, P.C., for legal services retainer for July 1st, 2017 through September 30th, in the total amount of $15,000.
So moved. Support.
Any discussion?
Very
All-
important to pay your lawyers. Very important.
Yes, thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns,
Yes.
Mayor McClellan,
Yes.
Councilmember Radner,
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item 11B, approval for payment of invoice submitted by Seacrest, Wardle, Lynch, Hampton, Truex, and Morley for legal services in the amount of $2,528. Is there a motion to approve the payment?
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Best money spent is to pay your lawyer.
Yeah.
Mayor McClellan,
Yes.
Councilmember Radner,
Yes.
Councilmember Rich,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Motion carried. Now is a series of 13 ordinance changes that we discussed carefully last time for the second reading. And if there are no discussion or changes, that we'll go through them one vote after another pretty quickly. A is second reading and adoption of an ordinance to amend Chapter 82 Utilities of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park, Michigan by amending Section 82-313 thereof. Is there a motion to approve the second reading and adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and supported. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Radner,
Yes.
Councilmember Rich,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns,
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes. Motion carried. Item 13B, second reading and adoption of an ordinance to amend Chapter 62 Solid Waste of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park, Michigan by amending Section 6292 thereof.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Discussion or questions? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Rich,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns,
Yes.
Mayor McClellan,
Yes.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item 13C, second reading and adoption of an ordinance to amend Section 802 Special Land Uses of Article 8B2 General Business District, Section 901 Permitted Uses, and Section 902 Special Land Uses of Article 951 Light Industrial Districts, and Section 1917 Vehicle Dealers of Article 19 Special Land Uses, Appendix A Zoning of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park, Michigan.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns,
Yes.
Mayor McClellan,
Yes.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Motion carried. The next are changes that were discussed and adopted to the many boards and commissions that we have. So two that are, their job has been taken over by a department, and
You're skipping
others.
one.
You skip one.
Oh, wait a minute, where am I?
D.
We gotta do D.
D, thank you. We're on D. Second reading and adoption of an ordinance to amend Section 1925 Outdoor Storage Yards of Article 19, Special Land Uses, Appendix A Zoning of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park, Michigan.
So moved.
Support.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Motion carried. Now we're at the part where we're changing around a couple of our boards and commissions to make it easier for staff and make it easier for the boards and commissions to get quorums and hopefully to make it all function better. So this is the first of the bunch. Second reading and adoption of an ordinance to repeal Article 3, Boards and Commissions, Division 6, Cable Television Advisory Commission of Chapter 2, Administration of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park, as the commission functions have been transitioned to the city's Community and Economic Development Department.
So moved.
Support.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes, motion carried. F, second reading and adoption of an ordinance to repeal Article 2, Emergency Services Council of Chapter 34, Emergency Services of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park, as the council functions are now regulated by state and federal emergency management services. Is there a motion for the second reading and adoption?
So moved.
Support.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes, motion carried. G, second reading and adoption of an ordinance to amend Article 5, Additional Boards and Commissions, Chapter 2, Administration of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park by amending Division 1, Recycling and Environmental Conservation Commission, Section 2-602 thereof, thereby reducing the number of members on the Recycling and Environmental Conservation Commission.
So moved.
Support.
Discussion? Roll call?
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Motion carried. H, second reading and adoption of an ordinance to amend Article 3, Boards and Commissions, Chapter 2, Administration of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park by amending Division 4, Beautification Advisory Commission, Section 292 thereof, thereby reducing the number of members of the Beautification Advisory Commission and adding Section 2-302, thereby defining a quorum and majority of the commission.
So moved.
Support.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Motion carried. I, second reading and adoption of an ordinance to amend Article 3, Boards and Commissions, Chapter 2, Administration of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park by amending Division 8, Ethnic Advisory Commission thereof, to create the Arts and Cultural Diversity Commission, which combines the Ethnic Advisory Commission with the Arts and Cultural Commission.
So moved.
Support.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Motion carried. J, second reading and adoption of an ordinance to repeal Article 5, Additional Boards and Commissions, Division 2, Independence Day Commission of Chapter 2, Administration of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park, as the commission has been combined with the former Recreation Advisory Board to create the Parks and Recreation Commission.
So moved.
Support.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes. Motion carried. Item K, second reading and adoption of an ordinance to repeal Article 2, Recreation Advisory Board of Chapter 54, Parks and Recreation of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park, as the board has been combined with the former Independence Day Commission to create the Parks and Recreation Commission.
So moved.
Support.
Discussion? Roll call?
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item L, second reading and adoption of an ordinance to amend Chapter 2, Administration, Article 3, Boards and Commissions, by adding a new Division 3, Parks and Recreation Commission, which combines the former Recreation Advisory Board with the former Independence Day Commission.
So moved.
Support.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes,
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
motion carried. Last, second reading and adoption of an ordinance to amend Article 2, Boards and Commissions, Chapter 2, Administration of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park by amending Division 1, generally Section 244 thereof, thereby identifying the boards and commissions subject to the terms set forth in the ordinance.
So moved.
Support.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes,
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
motion carried. City Attorney, is there anything you have to report?
No report, just thank you all for your diligence and patience with the boards and commission legislation. Thank you.
That was all a lot of work for our legal department. Believe me when I tell you. She is going to celebrate at the 4th of July picnic, having that job done. We are at the city manager's section, and City Manager Eric Tungate.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. 15A is a request to move the July 3rd, 2017 regular city council meeting to July 5th, 2017. And this is in light of the fact that July 3rd is a awkward day that we didn't address at the beginning of the year when we set out the calendar and the dates we're going to meet. So I would ask for your approval of that request.
Motion to move July 3rd regular meeting to July 5th.
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
No.
No, just everybody.
Aye.
All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. We have moved the meeting, and it will be noted. Item 15B is appointments to boards and commissions. We are putting our valued commissioner, Stephen Gold, onto the Local Officers Compensation Commission. Wonderful Rosalind McKay is going to the Ethnic Advisory Commission. 9-year Hall Brown is going to Recycling and Environmental Conservation Commission. Gwendolyn Henderson is moving to the Local Officers Compensation Commission. We need a motion to support those moves.
Support of those recommended board moves.
And is there a second?
Yep, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Madam Mayor and council members, 15C is to receive and file the quarterly investment report for the period ending March 31st, 2017. I'd like to call our finance director, Sandra Crawford, to the podium. If you could give a brief overview of 15C for me, please.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem and Council, and City Manager Tongate. Item 15C, the third quarter fiscal 16-17 investment report. The third quarter investment report shows the total wide city cash and investments of $20,636,828, the market value, including the cash operations of account of $2,786,395, short-term investments in the Oakland County investment pool of $7,641,078, and long-term investments totaling $10,209,355. The third quarter saw bond prices rise, which resulted in higher yields for the new investments and reductions in unrealized gains on investments currently held. The city has maximized its investment return on short-term cash by utilizing the Oakland County investment pool and minimizing the amount maintained in the checking and daily depository accounts. Interest income for the months of July through March of 2017 remained strong, totaling $221,069 compared to $141,747 for the 9 months held March 31st, 2016. And this is all due to our new investment strategy that started in September of 2015.
Director Crawford, if I could just add, I think the point you just made is a very important point, that we began our new investment strategy in September of 2015, and last year, which would have been a year, almost a year, 9 months out from when we began it, we had investment returns of about 142,000. We have now just, for the same period a year
Yes.
later, improved upon that to about 221,000. So our strategy is working. And remember, council members, this is a policy that was not in place up until September of 2015. We were leaving this money on the table on some of our unrestricted cash assets.
That's amazing. Motion to receive and file a quarterly investment report for period ending March 31st, 2017.
So moved?
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Director Crawford, if you could go through 15D, which is to receive and file the quarterly financial report for the period ending March 31st, 2017.
Yes. Okay. The purpose of this memorandum is to highlight the fiscal year activity to date ending March 31st, 2017. The total revenues for the third quarter total approximately $16.4 million, representing approximately 84% of the annual budget. Overall revenues are on track with the budget, and then there's the following items of note. For the property tax revenue, we are 96% of the tax bills have been paid, which helps us reach our 84% of annual revenues for to date. The intergovernmental revenue, which is our state revenue sharing, we are expected to receive 3 more payments, April 30th, June 30th, and August 31st, relating to this current fiscal year, and then our estimated revenue from that should be $3,201,629.
I may introduce one item here, just so you know. In 2000, the total revenue sharing was $5 million a year, and this year it's $3 million a year, and we are doing extraordinary things with much less money. Just kudos to our staff.
Thank you. The city receives cable franchise fees on a quarterly basis. We are on track to receive our third quarter remittance, which will be or has been received in April of 2017. And to date, as of March 31st, we've received $293,834 of the projected estimated $640,000 in cable franchise fees. Our fines and forfeitures are running significantly behind budget and prior year. For the first 9 months of the year, the original district court budget totaled $1,930,000 and was reduced by $51,000 with the first quarter budget amendments to $1,879,000. Based on the amended budget, court revenue should be totaling $1,409,250 for the first 9 months, but the actual amount received for the first 9 months is $1,238,146, or 12.1% less. The shortfall of more than $171,000 may result in additional general fund contributions to the district court fund if the revenues are not made up in the future quarter coming up. The revenues received is used to offset the portion of the court's operating cost. For the expenditures, the total expenditures for the third quarter total approximately $12.7 million, representing 65% of the annual budget. The overall department expenditure budgets are on track with the following items of note. There are a few departments that are over the 75%. Some are due to like the city council mayor's department is due to seasonal expenditures. The legal department, a lot of the legal costs have already been expensed for this fiscal year. Administration costs at DPW for seasonal in nature of expenditures. The recreation department, a lot of that is due to the instructional services of the seniors department and how we reallocated some of the costs. But the overall net budget for that department is on track with the current annual projections. There are also special recreation events that have already been seasonal and have expensed, resulted in the expenses being over the 75%. But overall, the budget is in line with the current annual projections. The swimming pool facility is at 80% of their budget. Again, a lot of these things are due to them being seasonal in nature. So they are, even though we project on a quarter, if their expenses have already been expense for that period of time, it makes it seem like it's higher. But the overall general fund operations are in line with the annual budget. There is one noted exception for the approved use of fund balance for the public safety K-9 capital outlay. And the project fund balance remains at the targeted level of at least 15% of our annual expenditures. And that
Thank
is
you,
all I
Director
have to report.
Crawford.
You're welcome.
Do we have a motion? Or do we not?
Motion to receive and file.
Oh, there is? Okay.
Is there one?
No.
No, we need one.
So moved?
Support.
Discussion?
Yes.
Yes.
Question for Mr. Tungate and to Ms. Crawford. But Mr. Tungate's at the podium. The shortfall for the court that you have for the budget, has that been brought to the court's attention?
Yes, it has. And actually, we've projected it to be at year end higher than that, at about $250,000.
Has it also been brought to the attention of SCAO and to the other funding units for the court?
Yes, it has.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, we ready to vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We have received and filed, and thank you so much.
15E, I'd like to ask our Director of miscellaneous things, if you will, but most prominently Economic Development, Director Maroney, if you would do 15E, please.
Yes, good evening. At our last city council meeting, we went through the process of splitting off the parcel at Lessinger Park to be combined with Michigan Desserts property for their expansion efforts. And at this meeting, we are asking that you go along with the recommendation of the Planning Commission at their last meeting to rezone the property from residential to light industrial to allow for the project to go forward. Richard Elias from Michigan Dessert is in the audience with us if you have any questions for him. He was here with us last time as well.
Yes. Would you like to come up and speak to us about that?
Hi, thank you for letting me speak this evening. I was actually quite gratified to see the awards to the officers this evening because one of the reasons I'm here today is early on when we moved into the community from Royal Oak, there was a major fire on a building right attached to our building, the old Huntington Cleaners building, that burned to the ground, and the fire department was quick to the scene and spent almost 12 hours saving our building. And we did have some fire damage, but the entire building was saved and all of our contents. And it was service like that that led us as a company to want to stay in Oak Park when we got to the point where we were growing out of our facility. We have tried repeatedly to buy properties on either side, have not been able to do it. And working with Kimberly and the team in Oak Park, we worked out an arrangement where we could stay in the city, which is something we really wanted to do very much. So thank you all for your efforts. If I have any questions, I can answer. I know we've been through the process for quite a long time now.
Right. Thank you for your wonderful comments about our police and fire combined department, and we're delighted to have you staying and expanding. Are there questions for this gentleman? Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we need a motion to accept the recommendations to rezone the .746 acre portion, southeast corner of Lessinger Park, from R1, one family dwelling district, to LI, light industrial district, and to approve the first reading of an ordinance to amend the city's official zoning district map.
So moved?
Support.
Discussion or questions? Roll. Is there?
No, just a comment.
Yes.
Thank you for staying in the city, and thank you for working out an arrangement with our Economic Development Director that will benefit the children of Oak Park as well.
Right. Right. The money from the land will go to benefit the children of Oak Park. Thank you. Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes, motion carried.
Director Maroney, 15F, please.
The city has owned a couple of vacant lots that we acquired through the NSP program, where there were previously homes on it that were blighted, that were torn down. We have been maintaining these lots for a few years now, and we're trying to close out the NSP program. And part of that would be getting rid of the properties that are attached to it. And also through our tax foreclosure process, working with companies to build new homes on our vacant lots, we asked those companies to consider purchasing these items as well as part of our tax foreclosure sale. So we are asking City Council tonight to sell the properties. The price we have listed is what they were appraised for by a state licensed appraiser.
Okay. We need a motion approving this sale.
So moved?
Support.
Discussion or questions? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes,
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
motion carried.
15G, please, Director Maroney.
Yes, at our last council meeting, we asked City Council to approve the sale of tax foreclosure properties. We hadn't gone through the process of selecting our vendor that we were going to use this year yet. We put together a panel within the staff and one City Council members to review all of the 5 proposals we had before us, and we decided this year to use 2 vendors since we had an excess of properties higher than what we had normally had in previous years. We gave the bulk of them to our vendor that we've used the last few years, which is Global Realty, and we're asking that you approve the purchase agreements that are in front of you tonight. I just got them to you today because our wonderful city attorney worked on them all weekend to get them done for us in time. And both of them are in the audience today. We selected Real Team Real Estate. We have Kevin DiVirgilio, and we also have Jim Budziak with Global Realty, if you have any questions for them.
Could they come up and explain, especially our Real Team company that we haven't used before?
Good evening. Thank you for having me. I guess a brief description. We're excited to work with the city on this rehabilitation project. Basically, you know, what our game plan is to rehabilitate these properties that maybe are not as desirable as they need to be, and get them to potential homestead owners in within a short time period. Our goal is to have the properties completed within the year, and we have a kind of a game plan to get that done in a timely fashion. You know, the city continues to gain momentum. You know, being a new business in the city, we're doing everything we can to increase property value. So I think this is a good opportunity for us as a brokerage, as a company, to add a lot of value to the city, and that's what we plan on doing. So.
Okay.
That's awesome.
I have a question. Any questions? Yes, Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
I'm not quite sure if City Manager or Director Maroney would be able to answer this question. Would it be correct to assume that Real Team were held to the same standards and will be held to the same standards as Global Realty in regards to the exceptions that we have asked and they have maintained over the last 3 years?
Yeah, let me take that one. The answer to your question is yes, absolutely.
Okay. So, you know, you have a Global Realty we've worked with for a couple of years, and we're very pleased with their work. So hopefully things will work out with you as well.
And we are happy to have a very picky building department who will hold you to the highest standards.
Perfect. We're up for the challenge, and we're excited about it.
Yes.
Just thank you for coming tonight, and certainly I appreciate your comments. And, you know, as has been talked about many times, I think Global Realty has set the bar pretty high. And so the expectation is that not only will all the terms that we currently have or have had with them will be met, but maybe we'll go above and beyond the call of duty, and that's our hope. So by all means.
Show us what you got.
Welcome.
Look forward to the opportunity.
Thank you.
And thank you for having me today.
Let's see. Yes, please, Global Realty. The Oakland County Treasurer had warned that some of the companies are not on the up and up, and to be very careful. And we've been very pleased with Global Realty going above and beyond what they absolutely had to do, which was, I think, $25,000 per property, and spent triple that on some of the properties. And so
Yeah,
they look great.
I just wanted to add to the reason that these two companies rose above the other proposals that we had is their community involvement, both financially and also volunteering within the community. So those were other aspects that we considered highly in their selection process.
Madam Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and Council, thanks again for having me tonight. Just a quick recap. I just think the program has been very successful. When we started 3 years ago, as you know, the tax sale properties were primarily being purchased by investors and turned into rental properties. And so this program has allowed the city to take control of the tax foreclosed properties in your community and guarantee that there'll be significant renovations done to them and dollars invested and sold to owner occupants. And so it's really been a good partnership that we're proud of, and we look forward to continuing it. And then secondly, with the added new construction component now, I think that's going to be it's going to be a nice addition. We're going to, between the lot last year and 2 more this year, we'll have 3 new construction homes that we're going to build, and those should have significant value and will impact comps in the area. They should be up close to $200,000 on the new construction homes. So,
Excellent.
again, thank you for the opportunity and the partnership. It's been great.
Thank you. Thanks for coming back. Resolution, so we have a motion approving? No. We need a motion approving the sale of these properties to Global and Realty.
So moved.
Support.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Motion carried.
And finally, 15H, Director Maroney.
Yes, our intern, Elizabeth King, in partnership with the Department of Public Works, applied for a grant with the Dr. Snapple group, or Dr. Pepper Snapple group, which is in partnership with Keeping America Beautiful. We were awarded 20 new recycling bins, which you see in front of you, the blue ones here, and they were placed in Shepherd Park today. Thanks to their generous grant, we will be able to expand our recycling program from the private realm, which you do at home, to the public realm, now in our lovely Shepherd Park that we have here. The goal of the recycling program is to engage people to recycle 365 days of the year, not only at home, but also when they're out and about. And we are excited to do our ribbon cutting for these new recycling bins that we have here in Oak Park. So if we can ask
How
City
does this
Council-
benefit the city and the residents?
It helps the residents by greening America, of course, and it gives them another opportunity to recycle while they're outside of their home as well. Where they don't have that opportunity, they would have to throw it in a trash receptacle.
Nice. Great.
So if we can have City Council come down and do a ribbon cutting for us, we would appreciate it.
Where are we going?
Your kid's gonna love you when you get home.
Oh, that's cute. That's wonderful, and thanks to Assistant City Manager Kevin Yee for giving us the idea of the grant. And it's wonderful. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, members of council, that completes the city manager report for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, City Manager Tungate. Next is call to the audience. If you'd like to speak, please come up, give us your name and address.
Stephen Gold, 15,000 Leslie. I guess I have 10 more days left in my tenure of chairman of the Communications Commission, now that the ordinance has been passed. And I want to thank everyone for allowing us the privilege of serving the community. It has been, over the last few years, an honor and a privilege. We've gotten some stuff done, and really want to just thank everyone involved for the honor of allowing us to serve the city. Thank you.
We are honored by your willingness to serve your community. Thank you so much.
Hello. We are the Bennetts, Mr. and Mrs. Bennett, and we're at 21971 Coolidge, right across the street from Kentucky Fried Chicken. Yes, that's our location, and we're just wondering how long, and we were hoping that the grandson project will be over soon, so we can get back in our driveways. And we've acquired a little patch that everybody walks on to get across the street, because the street is, so we were hoping they put that back in some kind of, nice order. We usually keep that corner nice.
I really wanted to know if during the construction, if our property was declared some kind of public domain, because people walk across our lawn so as to avoid the construction, what was happening. And, that is something that we really need to think about, because our lawn has been grossly affected, and we take very big pride into our corner, because we are right there at the corner of Gunston and Coolidge Highway. So it's like an entry into Oak Park. So we really take a lot of pride into making sure that our property is as nice as it possibly can be. And so we just, there has been constant
they made a little path, across
our lawn.
We just wanted it back as soon as
Thank you for your cheerful complaint. I've never seen so many smiles for somebody whose lawn is getting trampled. Please talk to Assistant City Manager Kevin Yee at the end of the table.
Okay,
and thank you so much for coming, and feel free to share the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks again.
So nice. Oh, my gosh. Oh. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Sue Skatarczyk has led total body conditioning in Oak Park for the last 20 years on Monday and Wednesday. And she writes, I have to tell you that last summer the sunflowers brought me such uplifting and happy feelings. Each trip I made to and from my classes made me smile. Honestly, I drove up an exit ramp from 696 one day, and there was a group of them waving gloriously at me. They were like a beautiful welcome sign. Such a small thing can make an enormous difference in people's lives. I think they represented very well the spirit of the wonderful residents of Oak Park. She said it well. You can join me at Susie's great, wonderful class on Monday and Wednesday at the Community Center at 10:30, and she will whip you into shape in no time. June 14th, there was a ribbon-cutting ceremony at the grand opening of the Jewish Senior Life Community Garden. And this is a beautiful facility behind the Title Building that includes a patio and tables with umbrellas, conveniently raised beds to be easy to garden for anyone standing or in a wheelchair. The produce will go to their kitchen and local food pantries. And I remember my grandmother was in a home back in the day. It was pretty institutional looking, and this one looks like a wonderful hotel. There was Community Day at the First Baptist Church. Hot dogs were donated by Davis and Coney Island, thank you. Officer Benson was there serving ice cream, and the kids could blow the horn on the fire truck. It was a wonderful day. The Sherman Pop-Up Park is going to be closing at the end of June. We'll evaluate the venue and the events to decide if it should be a permanent part of the neighborhood. Pop-up parks are a good idea for trying out something before you make it permanent to see if the neighbors like it, if it's popular, if it serves a purpose. It was an honor to speak at the Oak Park High School graduation ceremonies that were held June 11th at Shane Park overlooking the sparkling Detroit River. Our congratulations to the graduating class of 2017, which was the 60th class to graduate from Oak Park High School. The first class that graduated in 1957, members of that class remember catching frogs, chasing rabbits, and hunting pheasants in the marshy areas around the city. They walked to the freshly built Northland Center. They were young when television was a new thing and the repairman made house calls when the tubes burned out. This class is using communications tools that didn't exist at the turn of the century. We wish them every success in their upcoming adventures. And lastly, the Oak Park Pool grand opening showed our beautifully refurbished changing rooms. They had become pretty tacky. If you haven't come to the pool, please come and see the fun murals that are painted there, the fun little pods to put your things, your towels on. DPW did a remarkable job, and we can't thank them enough for the work that they did turning that into Showplace. My husband, Keith, is working on a history of Oak Park and is bothering a lot of the departments. Did you know that Oak Park held its first picnic in July of 1959 to celebrate the city's 15th year? And it was so popular, they upped the ante the next year and added a parade and fireworks. That makes this the 57th annual Oak Park Independence Day Parade, and it is going to be the best one, thanks to Director Lori Stasiak and Senior Coordinator Mary Lou Rosamond, who got this note on Facebook from Amy Figgett. I love that Oak Park seems to be doing more and more great recreational activities. Thank you from this lifetime citizen of Oak Park. Wow, just wow. Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out this evening. The weather has changed. We're having more hot days now. Please be cognizant of our seniors and our pets. And thank you, and have a good evening.
Thank you. Council Member Solomon Radner.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't usually say much, but there's one thing I want to say tonight, and that is that tonight there was a little bit of an illustration of something that a lot of people didn't realize. And that is that there's somebody in particular who works very hard behind the scenes and doesn't like to have his name out there or be recognized very often. and that's why we don't hear his name, unless somebody's complaining, in which case we say, go bother Kevin. And tonight was yet another example of that, where he had a role in getting us that grant that we just had a ribbon cutting for, and he tried his best to stay behind the scenes. So Kevin, we're looking at you. We know you're there, and thank you for all you do. And with that in mind, everybody, have a good evening.
Good. Councilmember Ken Rich.
Good night, and go bother Kevin.
There being no further business to come before this council, this meeting is adjourned.